you?
Live, baby.
I'm doing good. I still
good.
got Easy's hat. Shout out.
Yo, my
Shout
man.
out.
Cheers.
Dude, Kool-Aid, we're in a new era. This is Woodward Pistons Table Talking, dude.
Let's go. Let's go, man. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited. How's everybody doing?
Good.
I'm doing good.
Rob,
complain,
what's
man.
good, sir?
Let's get alive, man.
Vibes
What's
are
good?
immaculate.
Lexi,
Kool-Aid,
Jeff.
it's so good to see you, man. It always
Nah.
warms my heart whenever I see you every week, bro.
Definitely, man. I don't think people understand how much we actually talk.
Oh, like Kool-Aid and I talk almost every day. There was a point where literally, like, he and I would at least, if we didn't have a 40-minute phone call that day, there was a problem.
Yeah, it's a problem, man. Hey, kind of game plan. Get this stuff going.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Hey!
You know, what's poppin', baby?
What's going on,
We
everybody?
here, King is here, baby. Oh my gosh! Welcome to Woodward Pistons Table Talk. We got some OGs in Detroit with us yet again. I'm always joined, first of all, as always, by my guy, Detroit Kool-Aid. Of course, we got Downtown Deuce, who just rolled in.
What's up, people?
We got Everything King. We got Jeff Iafrady. There's this guy in a Miami Heat jersey.
Yeah, I was gonna
and
say I'm
Lexi.
definitely fitting the part for the brand new branding of the what was it called again, Sean?
Woodward Pistons Table Talk.
Well, you know, it's Pistons Heat. What's the difference, huh?
Hey,
All right, so
it's still in the
before
right
we-
category.
Yeah, so
Ain't
before
gonna like-
we burn you publicly as an offering,
Hey,
we're
it's a
also
D Wade
joined by
jersey. Does that make
Lexi.
it any better?
No.
No.
I
We're also
tried.
joined by Lexi. What's going on, Lexi? How you doing?
What's up, guys? I'm happy
What's
to
up?
be here.
Happy to
Doing
have you
good.
here.
Yeah.
Robert, real quick, for those of you that don't know, Robert and I host the Pizza Palace podcast together on From Half Court, so be sure to check that out. But also,
Please do.
if you see a ticker at the bottom, the number one message I want you to get from this is follow Woodward Pistons on Twitter and subscribe to Woodward Pistons on YouTube. We are live on From Half Court. We are live on YouTube. We are live on Twitter. Kool-Aid's camera was doing a full special effect in and out
Bro,
vibe there
I'm
for a
trying to get it,
second.
man.
Hey, it was cool. I liked it. But ladies and gentlemen, we got a lot of things to talk about today. First of all, how is everybody liking? How's everybody feeling in the Pistons off season? I'm missing basketball. I am missing Pistons basketball terribly. I get withdrawals generally within the first 2 weeks, and currently I am experiencing withdrawals. Am I the only one?
I'm missing Piston basketball more than I have in previous years.
For sure.
Agreed.
there were
Well, especially
some
that second
seasons-
half, you know, it's just like I want more of that.
Exactly. Yeah.
There were some seasons where you felt like you had to take that out back and just like watch old Yeller go down. You know what I mean?
At the Whitecaps, or not the Whitecaps, the Red Wings.
Yeah, exactly. Just how they're feeling right now. Like there were some seasons with the Pistons where it was just like, please end.
Yeah. For
But-
sure.
No doubt. No doubt.
Yeah.
Be like that.
But this wasn't one of them. In fact, I would argue this was one that makes you think of future seasons.
Mhm.
King, as someone that's been following Pistons basketball for quite a while, someone that's been covering Pistons basketball on YouTube for quite a while, what is your feeling right now? What is your attitude in this offseason? How are you feeling about everything going on?
I'm not even gonna lie. I am still overflowing with excitement, to be honest. Like I said, I'm so ready to get to the draft and, you know, to get to free agency and, you know, get the reports out of the summer for, you know, the development of the young guys that we have. Like I said, it's been the most I've been interested in a very, very long time. I haven't probably been this excited since, even though it was a false excitement. But when we drafted Drummond and, you know, some of the other new guys were coming along and I thought we were building something, you know, I got that type of feeling, but it's even better because like I said, it's, you know, having Cade and, you know, the draft that we got coming up, man, it's that much more.
Yeah, absolutely. Kool-Aid, what about you, man? How are you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling awesome. I'm feeling awesome because the season is supposed to be over, but it's not. We have optimism. We have Miami Heat fans coming back in Pistons jerseys. You know,
Yeah, we do.
fine.
There we go.
I got Cade.
I like
Hey, and he's doing it
That's
right.
respect.
I'm still
He's
waiting
doing
for
it
my K jersey in the mail, by the way.
Well, then you're gonna be waiting a while there, Sean.
No, I'm kidding. Anyway,
As long as I owe you, you'll never be broke.
no, but
But
keep
yeah,
going.
man. Speaking
Keep
of what
going.
King was talking
point.
about, it's a lot to be excited about, man. And I know that all of us are brimming, with it. I can't wait till the summer because we're not talking about the summer league Pistons as if that's the most we have to look forward to. We're looking forward to seeing how the new guys are going to integrate with, guys like Cade, like Sadiq, like Isaiah Stewart, and so forth. And that's what's really, really exciting about this team is it's about knowing they've made the right picks with the Andre Drummond stuff and trying to build that time around. We didn't know what we had. We knew that Andre Drummond was a talent that was kind of mismanaged and that they didn't really put help around him. But with this one, we know. We trust Troy Weaver. We see what Cade Cunningham is. We know what Isaiah Stewart, Sadiq Bey, Killian Hayes, the way these guys are really going out there and trying to work and grind. So I'm excited, man. I'm really excited, man. Really.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And it's one of those things where this is a difficult time of year to talk basketball as far as the Pistons goes, because when your season's done, this is the time of year where everyone's kind of taking vacation. But also, quite frankly, we're just waiting for the end of the draft lottery to come. And we're waiting for the draft itself.
Yeah.
Come on,
Because
boy.
at that
Troy
point-
Weaver season.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Sure.
We're just waiting for Troy Weaver's season to kick in. And like with that just comes a lot of like impatient waiting and trying to really pick apart these young prospects. But it is also the time of year where we're seeing a lot of these guys declare for the draft. And one of those guys that did do that today was Chet Holmgren, our guy. And with that, I kind of want to start the conversation kind of a little bit on that. Today on the Woodward Pistons Twitter, which, by the way, follow Woodward Pistons or you. We talked about how we would feel if Chet Holmgren was drafted by the Detroit Pistons. And I want to start with the table in here, and obviously I want to read some comments down below. But what do you guys think of Chet Holmgren being a Detroit Piston? I would be blank if the Pistons drafted Chet Holmgren with the number 1 overall pick. What are your guys' thoughts? Throw it out to
Hey, dude.
anyone.
I'll start if you
Yeah,
want. All
go
right.
right
Well,
on ahead,
I would
Jeff.
be elated. I would be enlightened, honestly, because Chet Holmgren, we can all agree, has probably the highest upside. I know people have concerns about him, which, it's kind of ridiculous at this point that you're just concerned about him being skinny when he has this entire skill set that people get to watch. I would be fine with it. Now, I've been a Jabari Smith guy. That's kind of who I've been on. But again, that's why I'm so excited for the draft lottery, because then it'll provide a lot more clarity. Like, I need clarity on where we're selecting, because if you're number 1, then you have the conversation: is it Jabari? Is it Chet? But right now, I would love it. I mean, Chet, I don't have anything against him. I like Bello. I like Jabari, but I think he would fill a lot of needs the Pistons need right now. Length and what he can do with Cade in a pick and roll, man, I would pay top dollar to see that. I would pay top dollar to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a true unicorn prospect, which is something that anytime you can get a hand on, that's something that's super valuable. Deuce, what are your thoughts, man? Where do you land on Chet Holmgren? How would you feel?
In the words of older brother Cannon, I would say that I am jubilant, ecstatic, and beaming. Not kidding. No, but seriously,
like
yeah, that was his comment on Woodward Pistons. Shout out to Cannon. But as far as Chet is concerned, I will be very, very excited. He gives you so many things, checks off so many boxes. He's a loud threat for Cade. Interior defense and rebounding, he gives you that as well. He's an additional playmaker, ball handler off the bounce when needed. He can face up or operate in the post offensively. So, he brings a lot of things to the table immediately. So, he's got to grow into his body. That may take some time, thin frame, we all know. But he's a guy who can come in and really just immediately across the board address a lot of the Pistons' needs, both offensively and defensively. So, I'd love to have him here.
Yeah, absolutely, man. There's a lot of reasons to look at his game and see that there's a lot of things he can improve on, but people don't realize he can be very skilled right off the bat, just as far as his overall game and with his size and everything that he brings. There's a lot of reasons to believe that he could very well be successful right off the bat. King, what about you, man? I know you've been starting to dive deeper into these prospects, and you've kind of held off a little bit on like giving your true endorsement. I would say is that a fair assessment? What are your thoughts on Chet Holmgren's game, and why do you think Pistons fans are so afraid to draft this guy?
It's phobia, man. It's it's the Darko Milicic syndrome. That's what it is, man.
Say it.
If the Pistons,
Yep.
if the
I
Pistons
love
mess
it.
around, say for instance, with the draft lottery, if we end up, picking number 2 and then we take Chet, man, that's everything that they need right there. So, me personally, I love Chet, to be honest.
Right.
I don't, what he brings to the table, and as far as his game, what he has to offer, I don't think, it's going to take him that long to fit into what we do as a Pistons, offense, man. Like I said, it's not like, where he's going to play is going to demand him to do all of these outrageous things that some of these fans want to see. So I think he'll fit right in like a glove, to be honest. I'm all for it. If we can get Chet, I'm just as happy as if we get Jabari or Banchero.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
King,
Robert?
bro, I got
Go ahead.
to check this real quick because you said something really interesting, yo. Chet gets to come to a team that's ready made for a player like him. Not
Evan
like
Mobley.
not like Stanley Johnson, not like any of our other ones, because realistically, I know those draft picks didn't work out, but that came into some crap situations, man. I just want to that's a great point, man. That the team around them, the front office, the coaching, the development staff, it's right in place for any of these guys that they could draft in the top, really 6 or 7 if you're studying.
They definitely came into some crappy circumstances, but I'm also of the opinion that at the end of the day, this is the NBA and this is a business. And at a certain point, part of being a pro is learning to overcome and adapt. I mean, one thing about
overcoming Mo Cheeks and Custer and people who do not care to even play you, bro.
Don't get me wrong. I am not justifying those guys' existences. Believe me, I am a firm believer in a those guys movement. Believe me. Like that is a cap I will put on every day of the week. Lawrence Frank, get the out of here. But man, I tell you what, like it is just one of those things where like, but like I think both can be true of like, well, this guy's circumstances weren't great, but also he was dog and didn't deserve a spot in the league. You know what I mean? Both can be true.
Yep.
Robert, have you watched any of Chet Holmgren? And what have you, and from what you've seen?
You know that I don't pay like a ton of attention to college basketball, so I don't know like every little thing or whatever. But for the most part,
argument to me was, well, his name's Chet, so he can't be good.
didn't love the name off the bat. No, I think a more realistic concern that I would have is just based on his frame. The potential for him to have sort of an injury bug, but that's kind of one of those things where. It's like there's nothing that like backs that up right now. Like it's not like he's known for being injury prone yet, so it's kind of unfair to put that on him.
Right.
But just based on his physical build, that's one thing that I have a little bit of concern about. But no, I mean, based on his actual talent and what he's shown us, I don't see any reason why I wouldn't want him on the Pistons. I still think that Jabari's probably the guy I'm leaning towards a little bit more at this point, but if we got the 3rd pick or something like that, right, and we ended up with somehow getting Chet 3rd, I would take that all day long. So.
I would concede, and I think we all would probably concede that that Jabari Smith Jr. is probably the safest prospect.
Yes. And I feel like this draft doesn't have like the Cade Cunningham where it's obvious who number 1 is. So it's kind of it's weird. Like Chet seems like it some of the time, but I'm like, it really isn't. So I trust Troy Weaver enough that if we did get number 1, it would be kind of stressful as a fan and even more so for the front office, but I trust them to make the right decision, and whatever they pick, I'm going to roll with. But yeah, I mean, wherever we fall in the draft, I have no concerns that it's like, oh man, we missed the 1st pick. Now we're screwed. We got whoever. Like I would feel perfectly fine with pretty much the top 5 really. So.
Yeah, same. Like that's what's like great is like I just feel comfortable. Like 1 through 5, maybe if we get 6, like like Keegan Murray in there at some point. I'd like to take him. Like I mean, it's nice to be like feeling in this position, already having that big piece and just looking for whatever we can build off of that.
Right. And again, it's a reminder, y'all, of like, these are good problems to have.
Yep.
And these are good.
Cade really solved this draft for us in a lot of ways. If we didn't get Cade, we would have a very different conversation with this. But the fact that we got Cade, it's kind of like, oh, we're all right.
We're good.
Yeah. It's honestly what we were talking about. Jeff and I were talking about that with Rod, Wednesday, about Cade Cunningham. They picked him, they selected him because of all of the other intangibles that you can't really find in a top quality player like that. Cade has the leadership. He has the ability to be the top scorer, but wants to also be the top playmaker and can be efficient at both of them. I believe he will. That shooting is going to come around. We saw him really, really, really put some work into it as the season went on. But, Cade answered a lot of questions that we knew that Jalen Green, Evan Mobley, Jalen Suggs, these guys, they didn't really answer. And now it allows you to, like we talked about on Wednesday, Jeff, just take the best player available or take the player that you think just fits what your scheme is.
And I think what allows the Pistons to do that is because they talk about Cade being the connector. And I think you talk about Chet Holmgren, all right, and when, let's say he goes to the Rockets, I think he would benefit more coming to the Pistons. Like Cade can play with any of these guys because of his playmaking ability. So, I mean, Rod talked about it as well. Like he doesn't have to be your leading scorer in a couple of years. And that's the benefit of Cade, man. Like Jalen Green versus Cade Cunningham, I'm throwing kind of strays right now, but it's the truth. He can play with just anybody because he's unselfish. So it's great.
We didn't end up with Jalen Green, by the way.
His name's Clarence,
and he's going to be a great player. But I just like Cade and just his ability, like you said, off the court stuff. That's so important, man. It really is.
Generation.
Yeah. It really is. Now, we'll get back to the draft in a little bit, I'm sure, because it's something that, listen, I mean, we're gonna be talking about the draft almost ad nauseum over the next couple of months because let's be honest. We're Pistons fans. That's what we care about because, we're going to figure out which jersey we want to pre-order next is essentially what's coming up. But with that, too, not only that, but another topic that we've been talking about quite a bit as a channel, but also I even wrote an article about this as well, is the free agency class, specifically guys like Jalen Brunson, DeAndre Ayton, and Miles Bridges. Looking at, Troy Weaver season's almost here. These are kind of the three names of whether fans have brought up that they have interest in these guys or whether the Pistons reportedly themselves have interest in these guys. It's time to ask, if you could have any of these free agents from this draft class, who do you guys want? Who do you guys want the Pistons to stay away from? Because, Jeff, I'm going to throw this out here because you and I think, have been on this for quite a bit. Stay the away from paying Miles Bridges a max contract. God, no. Please not. Heck, no. Move away from that.
And clarify it. We love Miles Bridges.
I know. It's like I would love to have him. I would love him to come home and be a Piston, but I can't justify
for a max contract.
No,
it doesn't make sense.
But it's just
doesn't make sense.
I can't put out the second mortgage on the home. We just laid the foundation down. What are you talking about? You know what I mean?
Excellent quote. We need to quote that.
Yeah, we're not at that. We're not at that point yet to be doing things like that.
We're not.
Right. And we talked about that the last week during the Woodward Pistons. What the hell do we call this now? I was gonna call it the 313 report, and I'm like, that's not it.
Well, we did talk about it at the time on the 313 report. We are now Woodward Pistons Table Talk.
Yes, there we go, Table Talk, perfect.
Yeah,
no, we talked about it last week. The same thing, of giving out a max contract right now to a guy like him is just not the move. I mean, we're not the New York Knicks. That's just not what we're trying to do here. Personally, I like Ayton just because we clearly need a number one center that's gonna, give us. What he can bring. Obviously, the money has to be right in any of these circumstances, but that's probably the one that I like the best personally.
Yeah, this question real quick. This question is so hard to answer because the draft needs to happen. I need
that's just it.
Yeah.
If you get Chet, then I'm like,
then we have no reason for Ayton, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's a tough one, man. But all I know is I ain't paying Miles.
You, Rob. It's the water bottle for today.
Yeah, the water bottle.
I love him.
Hey,
I love
don't
him.
worry, I still
the jug is back.
I got the giant jack too, so we're good.
Wow.
We're good.
All right.
I got we good.
All right, Kenny Rogers.
They're both getting a different type of.
I got my Harley Quinn glass here. Here we go.
They're both getting a different type of hydration.
I wasn't expecting the Jet.
Now, I did want to highlight real quick. Like I said, I did write an article about this on Woodward Sports earlier this week, just talking about what would the benefits be of signing Jalen Brunson and whether or not the Pistons should consider it. I mean, let's be honest. This is a guy, like I said, you can check it out here on Woodward Sports. I go full in detail here just on like what some of the pros would be of getting a guy like Jalen Brunson and bringing him in. Now, I think this is a conversation we've had, and again, it's the caveat of what are we paying for a Jalen Brunson. And so I did a little bit of an investigation and looked at what Fred VanVleet's bringing in, a guy about the same size, similar production, similar type of role, and he gets about $21 million a year. So if Detroit were to be in the market for his services, then that would probably be just about the price tag that we would be looking at. Do you guys think that is a fair price tag for Jalen Brunson? And are you at least tempted to see what it would look like?
No.
Part of me tells me part of that tells me also real quick before you go, like I feel like he's gonna want to get paid more than Fred. Like every guy wants to like get paid more than the last guy. That's how that works. You jump the cut. So part of me feels like it's gonna be more than that, but my God. All right, I'll let you guys go. I just want to add that in. It does scare me for that price tag.
It does. It is a little scary.
Say that price tag one more time, Sean.
It's about $21 million a year. So we would probably have to bring him in on a 4-year, $80 million contract.
No thanks.
I don't think I'm confident enough in the fit to pay him that much. Not saying it won't work, but I'm not confident enough that it's going to work because I look at Jalen Brunson. He's gifted offensively, but you have an opportunity with Cade to have a very big backcourt. So imagine what you could do with someone who is actually another big guard. That's the thing about Killian that was great is that even though he was limited offensively and not always confident offensively, defensively, the two of them were dogs. So you kind of negate the advantage of having height with Cade if you go small with Jalen Brunson. So that's what I'm looking at too.
Yeah, the size definitely kills it for me in a lot of ways.
Yeah, for sure. Before we keep going, we were also joined by Eric Vincent, aka I am Eric Vincent on Twitter. Eric, what's going on, man? Welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you for having me, y'all. Appreciate it. How y'all doing?
Good.
Yeah, doing good, man. Doing good. Thank you so much for coming on, Eric. I want to, since you're new to the show and coming on, I want to know what are your thoughts going into this Pistons offseason, and who do you want to see the Pistons go after in free agency?
Yeah, before I get in that, man, I think I follow quite a few of y'all, so I'm definitely in good company. Jeff, I know I follow. Lexi, Deuce, Kool-Aid. King, I'm a big fan of on YouTube. All you guys are doing great things, and I love what's going on right here.
Appreciate it, man.
Respect-wise, man. Yeah, man. And I'm as excited as you guys are, man. I mean, we all saw how, again, the record doesn't indicate what the Pistons are doing right now. Like, what we saw on the court, I mean, all the content from what they put together, especially from the start of the season up until how they grew together, you saw where the direction is truly going. And from what we've seen with the Pistons, I mean, for as long as we can remember, they haven't had the direction that they've needed, especially since the championship year. So now that we see things finally getting put together with a lot of resources to keep making things better and better, the sky's the limit for this team right now. Like, I'm just as excited as you guys are, man. We all want to be objective, but it's hard not to control that fan in us right now, seeing where things are going. So I'm so hyped. I'm so hyped, man.
Bro,
that's real.
You see what color I'm wearing tonight?
Dude,
come on, bro.
You gotta be loud, Kool-Aid. I knew he was gonna come through, man.
Come on, I was like, yo, we got Eric Vincent coming on.
Of course,
tonight,
man.
Bro, Pistons all the way, man.
Yeah, man. It's a good time right now.
Pistons all the way.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And so now,
Teddy Bear, I love it. Bad boys for life.
And listen, man, I won't lie. I understand the pessimism with Jalen Brunson, but let's also not dismiss this guy can play. And he's put up quite a playoff run already for Dallas. Put up 41 points the other night against the Jazz. Guy can score, man. That's all I'm saying. King, I know you're shaking your head. Laugh at me
Man,
all the you want, but the guy can play basketball. Can he not?
Who hasn't scored 41 this season, man?
He ain't wrong.
Sure as hell not. Whoever's scoring alongside Kane in the backcourt, that too.
Bro, listen, they were playing the Jazz, man. The Jazz are horrible. Okay? Listen, 41 points. Listen.
Matter.
Man, Brunson is not going to go out and give you anywhere near those type of numbers on a consistent basis, bro. And like I said, he's smaller. I just don't like it not for the price. I don't like it at all. I like sizey guards. We playing a big guard lead now. You know what I'm saying? I just don't want it, man. If that's the case, I'd rather just keep Edwards.
Okay. According to Bobby Marks,
they got the same hair.
Bobby Marks, ESPN's front office insider. I just want to share this and show I've done a little bit of my research here. According to Bobby Marks, Jalen Brunson has outperformed his 1.8 contract this season by read this 29.7 million. I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me
Nobody cares.
Hey, listen.
Listen, dork.
Listen,
nerd. What's his VORP though? What's his VORP?
Hey,
$31 million.
Braxton Key outplayed his contract too.
Hey,
get this guy out of here.
Give Key the bag.
I was going at this on Twitter. Let me know if y'all agree with this because it's really similar to me. Does anybody else get Ben Gordon vibes when you watch Jalen Brunson?
Jeffrey.
Does anybody even him?
Sean's dead.
R.I.P. His breakout time, just like Ben Gordon did. He played against the Celtics and he broke out even though they lost. He was a free agent coming up. It's the exact same scenario right now. It really is.
We are so traumatized.
The clips is coming tomorrow. Jeff said all of this stuff. We were in show prep Wednesday. He was like, "B, am I crazy?" He was like, "I get Ben Gordon vibes." I was like, "Bro, you buffoonery years?" And I got scared too, man. It's not scared to spend money. It's just like we talked about it. Jalen Brunson, for that amount of money, he would have to legitimately be your second best player, and whoever we're drafting this year needs to be that. You got Cade, you got your draft pick. You know, that's where I like Jalen. That's where I like Jeremy Grant a little bit better for the money. But Rob Beard dropped something pretty interesting. He dropped something pretty interesting. And this is something I wanted to run by you guys. If the Pistons were able to trade Jeremy Grant, does Jalen Brunson plus the cap space and another big time player, is that attractive to you? If they're able to go and then slide a blank check to Ayton or go and also pick up a Mitchell Robinson with Jalen Brunson, but Jeremy Grant is gone, and they got 2 draft picks coming in, 2 signings coming in. Does that make Brunson a little bit more attractive? Because I'm not for signing Brunson anything north of 20 million, and I don't even really want to give him like 17 just because of the slot he'll play on the team. But if Jeremy Grant wasn't here, that money was freed up, does it make it a little bit more attractive?
That number still high.
No, I'm with King on
this. Like, what option is he?
This is the same conversation already.
Is he gonna be your number 2 scoring option? Like, no, man, no.
Can't do it.
He can ball. He's a great player. He really can. But I like what you guys, the point you were making before. Like, this is what I love about teams like the Cavs, like the Raptors. They play to their strengths. Like the Cavs, they use their length. They use what's at their disposal. When you have a 6'7" point guard, you need to expose that. They're kind of crippled when you have a beef stew at center who's basically Cade's height, or Brunson who's going to be coming in at 6'1", where I don't even think he's 6'1". So I just don't think it plays to what they could be and how they could use that as an advantage. So I don't like the idea, honestly.
Can I ask a question? Would Jalen Brunson not be a significant upgrade in the backcourt pairing with Cade Cunningham to what we have right now?
By the way, Jalen Brunson is 6'1" according to Google.
I mean, Hammer do the
lies all the time.
Listen, Hammer do Diallo would be an upgrade right now.
No, I was just saying because he said that he wasn't sure if he was 6 foot. And I just wanted to clarify he is 6'1".
Hey, bro.
Yeah, he is 6'1".
Hey, this is what Sean trying to do. He trying to get the most expensive Corey Joseph here.
Bruh, he is so different than Corey Joseph.
Corey Joseph, 2013.
Like but also, if I can't
like
get
that.
Corey Joseph out of Supermax, and this is what I'll certainly take in replacement.
Corey caught a stray. He caught a stray.
No, but in all seriousness, man, like I'm not coming at it like this is what the Pistons need to do, and I'm not even making that argument. My argument is he's a really good NBA player, and if the Pistons were in a position where they brought him in, we would be getting a significantly better pairing of an offensive guard, someone who could score, create a shot for themselves and for others, and is hitting his threes and twos at a super high clip. I mean, the fit on the basketball court is not hard to envision because right now he's playing with Luka. Go ahead, Deuce. Go ahead.
Another thing that worries me is defensively, the Pistons like to switch perimeter defense.
I was just going there.
You can't do that with Jalen Brunson.
I don't want
because now you have a mismatch every time.
They'll go after him.
They'll go after him. So that's another thing I worry about.
We watch Corey get his ass beat every night. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to have another liability, man. I want a bigger guard that plays defense. You know, we got our behinds kicked in a lot of games simply for two reasons. And it's not just all scoring.
I mean,
it's not just all scoring. We've constantly got out rebounded. We have no big down there to protect the basketball rim. Right now, to me, I think we need more help down there than we need right now at 2. Because we've been getting pounded. The league is, as much as people love small ball, the league is bigger. People have multiple bigs now. You know what I'm saying? And they're throwing 2 7-footers at you at some time. We can't do anything because we got stringy-haired Kelly Olynyk and Stu's undersized right now. You know what I'm saying? So he needs support.
Shots fired.
So does that not? But again, though, like, aren't we talking about how like what we do with that depends on what happens in the draft? Because are we not talking about how we want to end up and get a guy like Jabari or Paulo or Chet, and in a way that does kind of help and address that? Because like to me, like I think that both can be true of like we need to go and get a big this summer. I'm just saying that like we also need to get someone who can score the damn basketball.
And I think those top 3 selections can.
Can I propose something real quick too? What if you don't get a top 3 selection? And what if you're left with a guy like Jay Ivey? You have to choose between a guard and you get a guard in the draft. Does that change what you're doing? See, everything can change. You have no idea.
Very situational.
And at that point, you got to less from a Jalen Brunson and more to a Mitchell Robinson or possibly a DeAndre Ayton type of sweet state.
I feel
I think Jay Ivey in the draft than paying Brunson $20 million plus a year.
All right. How about this though? I think we're all pretty clear on what we would pay Brunson. And I think we've had that conversation. I think we've had that conversation. DeAndre Ayton, though, that's different because this is a guy now, and this is what you need to be aware of. If you want to bring in a guy of DeAndre Ayton's caliber, and if you want to bring in his services and sway him away from Phoenix, I'm just telling y'all, you're gonna have to pay him a max contract.
Blank check, bro.
Nothing
Anything
less.
you want.
Blank check.
Look. Tom Gores can even give him his helipad, wherever that is in Detroit. He can have everything he wants, bro. Give him free, like, Little Caesars for life, parking.
but that's
you think a professional athlete's eating that?
I mean, he could free for life. But real question though, are we okay with giving the max to a center at this point in our rebuild? Because that's $30 million.
For Ayton, yes.
I don't want to give anyone a max contract anytime soon.
A lot of these names.
If y'all want to have your cake and eat it too, like
I am.
Like here's the thing. Like I understand we all want DeAndre Ayton. We're like, oh well, we got to bring in DeAndre Ayton, $20 million. Oh my god! But like this guy, we'd have to bring in at $32 million a season.
And let me give you the downside of it too. Like DeAndre Ayton isn't a 20-20 guy. Like he's like 11 and 20. All right, he'll get you or 15 and 20. Like
he's more of a Rudy Gobert offensively than he is a Joel Embiid. You know what I mean?
Don't compare that man to Rudy Gobert.
He's not Rudy Gobert.
Yeah, that was a low.
That's a low
Okay,
blow.
but no, man, for $30 million. I mean, that's a fair question, Sean. It really is. Are we overreacting to this free agency class because it's not very good? I think that's a good question to ask.
Yes.
I mean, is it because that's the thing? Like next offseason, there's going to be better guys. I think everyone just loves talking about spending money. I mean, it is interesting. We need guys. We do.
It's the first time in a long time we've been in this position. I think everybody's just really excited about it.
Yeah, and here's the reality. And this is where I lie on what I think we're going to do this free agency, and it's an unpopular opinion. I don't think we're doing jack as far as like signing big guys.
I'm
okay with that.
Yeah,
that's what I've been saying this whole time, and like at least on the Pizza Palace and stuff like that, is that I just feel like the Pistons are not yet in the position to spend money. Like, I don't understand this.
Like that.
Like I get the. What's that? What's that?
He puts his money over so fast, man. Troy Weaver will spend it just in the way.
I feel like we are in such a good position that it is so stupid to fumble it, and I feel like any of the free agents this year, if we were to give them the bag, is fumbling it. And I just, with how decent the draft is this year, I feel like it's a good position to be in where we can add another piece, see how it goes for another year. We can be a little bit better than we were again this year, which obviously, technically wasn't good as far as the record, but we can keep calm for one more year and see what we look like after another top draft pick, after everyone's had, some more time and all that kind of good stuff. See who we want to get rid of and whatever and stuff like that. See if we're going to, what's going to happen with Killian Hayes.
Well,
I know a lot of people have opinions on him, but like, it's just, I know it's fun to spend money and I know it's fun to get free agents. But I just don't know that the time is now right now. It'd be like the Tigers going out and just like blank checking and going crazy. Like you can't.
Well, they don't got Troy Weaver. You got to understand something. I'm going to tell you something. Look, they got money this year. They got money. If they spend it all this year, they got money next year because Blake Griffin and all those dead contracts are up.
Well, that's true. That's true. But this is.
Bro, you can add 2 major free agents and a major draft pick this year.
Right. That's true. But I just don't know.
We're talking about a whole new starting 5 with players that we're talking about starting right now coming off the bench. That's a complete team to make a run for 3 or 4 years in this East. I would take Cade, Ayton, Sadiq, any one of the draft picks, another free agent next year, plus a middle of the road draft pick because Troy is going to come away with another draft pick. You got to think about that. When we're talking about building a great team within like a Eastern Conference good to great team within a year or 2, if you believe Cade is that deal, you put the talent there now. How many guys do we have come here talking about want to win? Right. Cade came here this year and said, I don't like this. Get him that big man. Right. Bro, we gave him a Marvin Bagley, and they got a better record than the Cavs after the All-Star break. We got him a Marvin Bagley, and they played 500 ball with Cade.
And maybe if we get him Chet, then we don't need to give that max contract.
No, bro, you need somebody who's going to bang down there, though.
Well, Chet's not a 5. He's not a 5.
That's true. That's fair. That's totally fair.
A 4. He's gonna be a definite 4, but you need somebody that can go down there and bang. And I like Chet. I would love to see what Chet and Ayton look like together.
That would actually be nice.
That's different. You're not paying Ayton just because of what you think he's going to be. With an Ayton type of deal, that's the guy you give a max pick because of where you think it can take your team. I don't think Ayton is necessarily worth that, but I also don't think Brunson at 20 can take my team to where Ayton at 30 million can take my team. I love
that's
Ayton.
very true.
That's
very true.
And with what you can add another top draft pick and another free agent next year, a top one if you want, guys. Blake Griffin's money is not off the books yet.
Right.
They can sign after this year and start over next year and just say, hey, what do we want to do? Because if they're not going to sign Grant, they got a lot of money at their disposal.
Well, going into the offseason, this will be the first offseason without Blake's contract on the books. So going into this next season, we will not have Blake's contract. So the after this, I believe the only dead contracts we'll be like DeAndre Jordan for like a little bit. And then the only other long money we have in the book is Wayne Dedman, but that's just being waived and stretched. It's like $2 million a year or something like that. Yep. But with that, the off season, that another thing. Again, we'll get back to draft and we'll talk more of that stuff towards the end. But for now, we could talk a little bit about some guys that we have in house and one player that is an X factor. Our siren worked. Killian Hayes, you're not going anywhere. You're staying in Detroit. So that worked. We still don't know if he's training with Ashton yet or not. But I'm hoping and praying. But what we do know is that with Killian, he did get better as the season went on. The second half, he did show that promise. But he's gonna have to get better all around. And my question to you guys, other than his 3-point shooting, where do you want to see Killian Hayes get better as over like these next couple of years? Because or over this next season specifically, because it's not just like obviously scoring. That's a big one, right? But like I feel like there's more that he can add to his game than that. So like how do you guys want to see Killian Hayes grow?
Sorry, go ahead, Jeff. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say. I'll just say this real quick with Killian. I think one thing that when you talk about it, what comes to my head is really just like a mentality thing. I mean, it's a lot of things he needs to work on, but it's mostly just how he approaches and how he gets out there. And the stat already read it off is the end of the season in that stretch of games, double-digit points. He's being a lot more aggressive. So I think playing in America, training with these guys, in the offseason and just going out and just hooping. I think that's going to be the biggest
Americanized.
Exactly. That's a great way to put it. So
get that man a Big Mac.
Yeah. No, I'm excited.
No, drop him off in Chicago in the roughest court in the city.
We want him alive.
Double hoop. Get
double rim outside.
Double rim with a shitty ball that's like the gray fucked up. Like, boy.
It's like ball is all.
It's gotta look like Gotham City where he's
with
hooping.
some
That's what it's gotta look like.
With some fucked up old hand-me-down like whack ass Jordans, like fake Jordans with like the sole coming off at the toe. Like, oh yeah.
That's where the best hoopers are made, right there.
Exactly.
Best hoopers are made, baby.
You get a bucket in those, yeah.
That's it.
Let's go.
I think I want to see Killian begin to just embrace contact. I mean, he's 6'5".
Yes.
Too many times going to the basket when he gets cut off, he's just trying to fade away or just pulling for a jumper. I want to see him take advantage of that size and start playing bully ball against a lot of these guards who are smaller than him.
You know what, Deuce? I'm going to say it for you. Killian, stop being a bitch.
Yeah.
Take a bump. It's okay.
That's always the confidence level.
He's really soft.
And that's that. He needs that dog, man. He needs that dog to come out.
That's that confidence build up. Let him
listen.
Get better.
We need to
a little bit.
We need to get him a do-rag, a black and mild, and some Hennessy. That's what
Hey, and we need Bogdanovich to just give him one more elbow to that dog out.
He gonna put it together. I want to see Kill. Look, we know we know he's a great defender, but he kind of like Cade at times got caught up in foul trouble because he is an aggressive ball handler, but he has very active hands. And a lot of times, like Cade, he would snatch down at the ball, try to strip at it. And as we all saw, the Pistons got no favors with the ref. So I want to see him get a little more disciplined with that. Outside of that, I don't really think, outside of what Jeff said, I don't really think he has too much else that he has to work on. He proved a lot as a rebounder. He, you saw his jump shot coming together. And even if it doesn't fall, we just want to see the aggressiveness that you're trying, like Lonzo Ball. I think that's the kind of arc he needs to look at. And I think he's well capable of doing that with the pieces around him right now.
You know what I want to see out of Killian Hayes? I want to see him make a legitimate case for all NBA defender.
He's got potential for that.
I want him to like year 3, like what we saw out of Ben Simmons on the defensive end, where he just takes it as I hope whenever he's on the court, he takes the assignment of their number one guy. I hope that he's just a pest on the defensive end. And I hope that he becomes like a Marcus Smart type where he can really take pride in that. Cause like even Bruce Brown in Brooklyn, like a big reason why he's been so effective is because he took on the role of being the captain on the defensive end for them. And it's like, and even with Stanley Johnson, like he thought that like in order for his game to get better, it was just to grow in the offensive end. Sometimes if you're just an inherently defensive guy, that's okay. Just get your offense to NBA level and go be an all-world NBA defender for this team. We would not be upset.
Yeah. He just needs to play some craps, He play a little bones with the boys, and he'll be all right.
Listen, get him some black Air Force Ones and set him up with Patrick Beverly over the summer.
That's what's up. No, I agree completely with what Lexi was saying, and have her continue a little bit. But the confidence, I really think, is kind of the big thing. Like he just kind of he seems like he's afraid to take that next step or to take that bigger role and to really step into those shoes. Like, it's time for him to just accept, like, listen, man, I'm it. Like, I'm in this position. Like, I'm not a rookie anymore. So,
well, it's even like, I feel like they're kind of like bouncing around the fact, like, they talk about how, like, he needs to realize, like, when you lose, you don't get back on the court. Right. I think what that means is, like, if you don't play well, you're not getting playing time, bro.
Correct.
That's just the way it is. If this kind of stuff, if we don't see that offensive development, if we don't see that dog in you, we don't see that change and development and that evolution, you're going to have a seat. Because
you go ahead, Kool-Aid.
Oh no, you go, Ken, you go.
No. Well, it was Dwayne Casey said that specifically because of where he comes from. Playing over there in Germany, he never had to experience that, especially being 16 and 17 years old over there. So, you know, like I said, this is literally all new to him. I think the Pistons did a disservice of not starting him off in the G League. To be honest, he should have started there first. Or off the bench at least. You know, like I said, we just threw him in. You know, I mean, look at. For instance, not saying that he's going to be Jordan Poole, but Jordan Poole had to go down first and work his way back up. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I think the Pistons did him a disservice, man. And, you know, knowing the background of some of these players, you know, that's most important. But like I said, it's not just Killian for me. I want to see consistency across the board for all of these guys. Because Sadiq's been up and down, you know. It's too much inconsistency for all of these dudes.
Oh, it's across the board, but I think
so hot and cold, man.
Yeah, but I think for Killian, consistency, like I think with him, the consistency is going to look like that, like, because I think consistency is different for every guy. Like Sadiq, it's just those shots. Like you can't have nights where you're 1 for 12. Some nights, like you need to be consistent. You need to find a 30 or 40, like, you know, like high 30, like low 40 percentage for your 3-point shot. And you need to be able to hit it at least at that rate. Yeah. With Killian, it's the consistency of letting that dog out no matter what night it is, who's on the court, because you are fighting for a job.
Yeah.
And that's the reality of it, is that he's going out on a night-to-night basis and he's competing for a job.
He doesn't look like it sometimes, you know, and that's the problem.
Well, and you know what, refrain from that, really. I don't see him ever give like lazy or half effort.
I'm not saying he's lazy.
Right.
I wasn't saying you saying he was lazy. I was just, I would refrain from saying that there's times where he doesn't look it. And I get the complaint with Drummond where people say it looked like he was taking some plays off just because of the style of play that he plays. All big men look like that. But with Killian, I see a guy like King alluded to who's just confused on the style of play. And sometimes it takes some time just. What he's really saying about getting Americanized is valuing every single possession. That's what that means. When you get on, you might not get on. And that's what
I know what he needs.
Yeah, like listen. This is one thing that frustrates me with the fan base. Playing over there in the Euro leagues in Germany for some small time team as a kid is different from these guys that's coming from collegiate basketball here in America. That is a difference.
It was little boys.
Exactly. So for us to expect Killian to be this, I mean, crazy dog, you know what I'm saying, in his first, pretty much when you count the games, his first season, it's a little bit overboard to me. You know what I'm saying?
I think you made a good point though, Sean, with Bruce Brown though, because if you look at how he kind of plays, it's kind of similar to Killian outside of just defense, because he likes that floater game that Killian has as well. He does a lot more off-ball screens though. Whenever Steve Nash, cares to draw plays, like that's what he's really good at. He sets off-ball picks. He can dive and then float or make passes up to the next guy. So that's something if Dwayne Casey gets a little bit more creative, they could tap into. But I mean, it's going to take a little bit more time because he's still trying to, like we all said, get his confidence in the, beginning steps together.
Mean, Bruce Brown is playing with better teammates now too. And that's one thing that we got to think about is that with Killian Hayes, from an offensive standpoint, he's interesting. Everybody says he has to have better offense. It's like, no, he just needs to legitimately shoot better and drive to the rack with just a little bit more confidence. That's what's missing from his game. He runs offense masterfully. I'm not mad at the way this man passes. I'm not mad at the way he sets his team up. He makes passes that right now Cade Cunningham can't make. That's a reality. That one hand pass all over the court. Killian has that down pat. So
it's a really good point.
Yeah, like look what he legitimately needs to, it just in my opinion, focus on is just learning this game. And in the second half of the season is where I felt like he was starting to learn it, starting to get it. We saw him look a little bit more mean. We saw him play with a little bit more swagger. We saw him dapping up his teammates with a little bit more oomph to it. These are the things we saw to Killian in the second half of the season. If you don't remember, go back and look at the highlights, look at his plays and all of that stuff. Go back and look at the games. I know people on this panel probably got him either DVR'd or quick access to him or whatever. Y'all be clipping stuff so fast, but I don't believe that he's that far off. If he didn't have the second half that we saw with close to 12 points, with 4 assists and 4 rebounds a game, with those peaks, and realistically his defense, when him and Bruce Brown were on this team together, I believe his defense was better than Bruce Brown's. I know Bruce's high energy, but I'm sorry, Killian was strapping up. He was guarding top players, and he is still guarding top players this year. So I don't want to lose or forget those things. But to everybody's point, if that boy can't learn to shoot in this NBA, all of his other skills, all of his other talents, they almost become worthless because you got to fit next to Cade. You have to fit next to, the other shooters that you have and the other ball handlers that you're going to have on this team. Because they're all interchangeable. There's no like Casey said, there's no point guard. Yeah, it's you front court player, back court player, and I really want y'all to be able to shoot from anywhere and defend everywhere. Like Stewart, Jeff, when you made that great point the other day about Stu learning how to play and playing better on the perimeter, being able to switch in the pick and roll and pick up the guard on the perimeter. Those things are awesome. And if his offense doesn't improve, we talked about it. He might be better suited off the bench. But I don't want to throw these guys away.
Now, let me just say one thing, because he confirmed it. I always thought personally that the Pistons were just not having him shoot threes. Because, like I said, you don't go from shooting threes to just virtually zero. You know what I'm saying? And then he confirmed that at the end of the season when he said, and they finally told him to start shooting threes again. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, some of this stuff that we're seeing as a fan base is the Pistons organization. They have them, they have assignments. They're doing certain things. They're trying to see certain things. And the Pistons know by doing that, hey, let's do this now while we secure the draft pick. You know what I'm saying? Let's just be honest about it. But at the end of the day, Isaiah Stewart, you're right. If he doesn't start to knock down at least a 15-footer or something, then he probably is going to end up being best suited for the bench.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up again, man. We've been talking about the Pistons basically the last 2 years running on a plan of development. I know it looks like I'm talking in the future again, but that's what this has been. People have complained about Sadiq Bey and his struggles in the beginning of the year, and we all said it. He's working on things. People talked and they complained about Jeremy Grant, and we said, y'all forgot. Jeremy Grant has never been the number one option. He's never been even the number 2 option. We need to know what he is. And Troy Weaver, I think he hopped that value up. He really took his value up even beyond what he signed him to. Right. So
remember after the trade deadline when everyone was absolutely losing their mind about how terrible Jeremy Grant was? Like, Jesus Christ.
It was all
You can't play together.
People with fan base don't have
total meltdown, dude. Total meltdown.
This team doesn't know what they're doing. They need to fire Casey and they need to trade Jeremy.
Yeah, dude.
I just think this is new territory. We're not used to having, because again, we wanted to float Jeremy out and trade him, but we're not used to having players that are worth trading for. We have Blake Griffin, who nobody wanted. We had D Rose, who nobody wanted for a while. Like, we're used to having those pieces. Now we have Jeremy in the height of his career.
I always hated Griffin.
We have never went through the process as a fan base. We never went through the true process. I'll say true. That. That's so true. We don't know what we're looking at. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, well, it's like we haven't allowed the development because it's like we cut everything short, or we like let someone go, or they get injured and don't come in. And it's like we've never seen at least in a while, like the full development of a player and just having the patience for it.
Yeah. By the way, people that are here, be sure to drop your questions in the comments below. I want to close the show with a mailbag segment, so everyone start posting your questions that you have for us. in the comments down below. And while you do that, I do want to kind of quick change the topic to something that happened today that
I was about to say, bro.
we have to talk about it, man. We got to talk about it.
Point now, to real quick. And Eric.
Yeah. Now, if y'all didn't see, Miguel Cabrera was going up to bat in a situation. On pace. He's currently on hit number 2,999, and on his final at bat in the day, bottom of the 8th.
Fuck you, Yankees.
These sons of bitches.
Forever and always.
Cry about it.
To intentionally walk Miguel Cabrera. And everyone in attendance was in shock. The entire stadium was booing. They were chanting "Yankees stuck" as the game was ending. Robert's a Yankees fan, so I hate to spoil what he's about to be doing, but he's gonna go get his.
You better not come back on.
Yeah, we're about to
I'm about to leave.
That's a no-go. Right.
Yeah,
I do. Tigers back there.
Chuck wants to know. Sean.
I think you all can fucking cry about it.
Okay, y'all got shut out today. It's okay.
Fucking cry about it.
He said he was a Notre Dame fan earlier too. So let's just all have everyone.
Yeah.
Cry about it.
Now Chuck wants to know. Chuck wants to know, Sean, have you gotten help yet for your issues? And to answer your question, Chuck. I called every counselor on this side of the Mississippi, and they all said that their rates were too high. So I will let you know what they say. But
Sean's fucked forever. Let's just be real.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying. Yeah. Sorry, Chuck. But no, I watched that and I was in utter disbelief. I get from the strategy standpoint what they were doing there, but man, did that suck to watch, did it not?
Well, if he didn't strike out 3 times before.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, maybe if he didn't suck for the first 3 at-bats, and also we kind of saved him from getting a golden sombrero, so you should be thanking the Yankees.
Scoreboard.
Just saying.
Scoreboard.
Just saying. He could have gotten a golden sombrero, and then how stupid would have the Tigers looked?
Wait, Robert, did he just go throw on a jersey on a day that he lost?
I know.
You'll be all right.
This man did wardrobe changes.
We'll see when we get to the playoffs. We'll see how it gets to the playoffs.
And we'll sweep you hopefully then again. So.
You mean when the Tigers were hilariously not in it?
I'm trying to piece together this puzzle. So wait, you're a Notre Dame fan.
He's a Notre Dame.
You're a New York Yankees fan.
Jeff, I'm just going to tell you right now.
You're a Tigers partial fan.
Jeff.
Yeah. I mean, like, here's the thing.
Are you a Dallas Cowboy fan too?
No,
God.
All right. I thought that was next.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Jekyll is in the building.
Word.
I will say this.
All right, let's let him explain.
So I think of the like home teams as like family. You don't really get to choose them. You're kind of just stuck with them. So I like the family teams for the most part. But because they pretty much all suck ass, like I've chosen the teams that I like. And those teams are the New York Yankees, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the Raiders. Then basketball, I'm kind of all over the place because I'm sort of a new basketball fan, admittedly. In hockey, I'm all in on the Red Wings, the Golden Knights, and the Islanders to some degree.
There's no rhyme or reason.
Hold up. I'm gonna let the Lions.
In other words, you are a bandwagoner.
I'm gonna let the Lions slide. I'm gonna let the Lions slide, but everything else I can't let slide.
So I liked the Buccaneers before Brady. I will give.
I like the Buccaneers, and I have so many horrible jerseys in my closet because of the Buccaneers. But I have loved that stupid team since I was a child.
He has a Josh Freeman jersey.
I have
not lying.
several Josh Freeman jerseys.
Ooh, not Josh Freeman.
And a Jameis Winston and everything else. So I earned that one. The Raiders I've also liked since I was a kid. There's a baby picture of me in a Raiders jersey, and then I got my dad's Tim Brown jersey and stuff like that. So that one means a lot to me because of my dad. But the Yankees I picked just because I like history and I like old stuff or whatever. I kind of picked them just because of that, and also because I'm obsessed. I like no.
I'm gonna shoot.
No. I've just got like a weird hard on for New York in general. So like I'm in love with the Yankees, the Islanders, the whole city of New York.
You gonna say the Knicks?
Yeah, you gotta throw the Knicks in there.
They're all right. They're all right.
Okay.
I like Patrick Ewing and stuff like that. Like that's fine.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right. Anyway,
New York or whatever, like it's one of those things where I like the teams because I someday dream to live in Long Island. So it's just kind of one of those.
You don't like the
I'll
Lakers.
give you this.
I don't like the who?
I'll give you the Raiders. I'll give you the Raiders simply because of the love they showed the Bad Boy Pistons. I'll give you.
Let's go, baby.
You know, so there's a little bit of Raiders fan there.
Yeah, of course.
But you know, like I said, everybody has a second NFL team. Like, let's be real about it.
I got the Bucks and the Raiders.
I mean, I was little. When I was a little, I was a 49ers fan because I wanted to be Jerry Rice. You know
absolutely.
But
so
you were the Niners.
Joe Montana.
When you were a kid, okay?
But
like the Niners all the way. Yeah, always.
The Yankees are a no-no.
Start spreading the news.
All right, trying to gain some form of control again.
All right, we got it.
All right, here we go. Charles asked, "Do you guys think we should go after Mo Bamba instead of Mitchell or Ayton?
No,
cheaper and more talented." I am not a Mo Bamba guy. I'm going to be honest with you.
Me neither.
I
the only
think
good thing he has is a rap song.
Well, I mean, that, but also, I mean, let's be real. I mean, Mo Bamba he's talented. He has an upside, but the thing is like, I like these projects, but like, we can't have every player on the team be a project. We just can't. And like, also, we're heading towards a point where like we're wanting to win. Like, we have Marvin on the team. I'm glad to have Marvin. Like, I feel like that's just a redundancy in my opinion. Does anyone else agree with me on that?
I agree.
Yeah, I'm with that.
Yep.
So I just, my thing is just that we're already on track for this. We don't need to go do more of that, So I just, to me, it's a redundancy, but I like where your head's at though.
I can see a world where they do snag a Mitchell Robinson, every year they kind of go and do one of those big man for what 40 on the contract. Yeah, I can see them doing something like that, man. I can see them going to get Mitchell. We talked about them needing a big man that has that dog. I like I like Bagley. I don't necessarily know if he has the dog in him on the defensive side that Mitchell Robinson has. So I could see them. I could see a universe where they bring him in as well as Bagley.
Yeah.
I see King over there.
What? No. Mitchell Robinson, like I said, I know a lot of us fans want Mitchell Robinson here, but there are some people in the organization that also want Mitchell Robinson. I can't say any names, but I think Mitchell Robinson is definitely somebody that fills a big gap that we need, man. Like I said, he may not be the greatest offensively, but like I said, we go in the draft and it depends on who we get in this draft. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I just need him to rebound and block shots, be a force. Yeah, be a force and be respectable on the offensive end. Be able to catch lobs and things like that.
What's Mitch Rob like 70% field goal percentage?
Right.
Yeah, he's a poor free throw shooter though, isn't he? He's a pretty poor free throw shooter. That I'm scared of. I don't want to see no more.
We think Drummond
repeats. He's really not scoring in any other way than catching lobs at the rim either.
I thought we
did. Drummond. No, we did. We fix Drummond? I thought
he was better. He was better.
He was better before he left.
1 out of 2. He wasn't like missing both of them towards the end of it. He got a little better.
They couldn't. Let's say they couldn't foul him no more before he left.
Yeah, I saw that growth. Remember we played the Pistons played him this season. We tried doing the hack of Drummond. He was knocking free throws down left and right. I didn't see any of that when I was in Detroit. Yeah, K couldn't even get cooking because he kept hitting the free throws. I was sick.
No, his free throws are. Let me see.
Let's see.
Free throws. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he's under 50% for this season. I don't love that. I don't love that. We need guys who can be reliable at all times, whether it's health, versatility. That's what the Pistons need right now.
Is he gonna be the guy on the court though? A guy making 70% of his shots, rebounding, blocking shots, effectively, of super poor man's Ben Wallace. I can see him in certain spurts and in certain situations going in there and stopping a guy, or not stopping, making it difficult. If we're talking about this team being in the Eastern Conference making runs, who's guarding Embiid?
Yeah, that's true.
Who's guarding some of these bigs? Who's saying, you know what, I can't stop you, Giannis, but you're gonna think twice about coming in here and dunking.
You're gonna feel some resistance.
That's only. I think Mitchell Robinson could present like a more affordable but very reliable option. But you're right. When I saw those free throws, I kind of shuddered.
That's the only thing I'm scared about, bro.
Nobody's stopping Embiid, by the way. I mean, nobody.
No.
The only way you beat Philly by stopping everybody else but Embiid.
But you literally
could guard
whichever higher power you believe in that he's going to calm down.
Let's be honest, too. You ain't stopping nobody in today's league. Like, Marcus Smart won Defensive Player of the Year because he makes things difficult for guys. Like, that's what you got to do nowadays. Just make it difficult for him, man. Like, they got a lot of talented guys in this league.
But that's why I like Mitchell Robinson. I don't think the Pistons have a defensive big on the roster like him. I don't think they've had one.
Got an anchor.
When's the last time they had one like that? Honestly.
Drummond.
Ben.
Yeah. And was Drummond like him, though?
No. I mean, not with him.
No. It was Ben.
That's sad, bro. This is an organization that hasn't had a player like Mitchell Robinson since realistically well before Drummond. Like Junkyard Dog, maybe?
I was going to say Jerome Williams,
That's sad.
That is bad, yo.
It's been a rough.
Let's see. They got a bit of a Pistons got a bit of a jam at big man anyway. Like Kelly Olynyk still coming in next season unless they deal him somehow. I mean, you still got
please
Stu.
God get rid of him.
I hope so. I really do. I would love to see him in a package get out of here because he was.
He was fine.
I hate that man so much.
He was
Gonzaga fan up there to the top.
He served his purpose. It's time for him to go.
I literally just said he was fine. Like he wasn't. He wasn't.
Was he?
Was he though?
Was he though?
He was fine for like
He
4
was
weeks.
okay.
Listen, he was worse than Plumlee on defense, man.
Yeah,
he was not much different than Mason Plumlee. Like he's here,
Mason brought some other things. All right, Mason brought some other things.
Let's not look at Mason Plumlee with rose tinted glasses like we miss him all of a sudden when half of y'all mother were like calling for Troy Weaver's job day one.
Hey, here you go.
Oh no, we don't miss him. We don't miss him. I'm not. I just can't let you gas up.
Who had the better rap song?
Slum
Dog or the Big King, Andre Drummond? Who had the better rap song?
Ooh. Oh gosh,
between who?
Slum Dog he had a hit, man.
Yeah, I gotta give my love to Plum Dog Millionaire, and I would rather listen to ESPN's audio go through whatever hell it did.
Who is my options? Him or Andre Drummond?
Yeah, they both got songs, man.
They both got songs, but Andre Drummond had Jeanette McCurdy, so I mean,
his rap music's terrible though, dude. I don't.
It's terrible, but my man had Jeanette McCurdy, so he's got a dub in my book.
That was a hilarious time.
That was a time in the
That was a hilarious era.
There were some great memes that came out of that era, though.
Yeah, we did. Yes, we did.
Drummond and Jeanette McCurdy, bro.
He was listening his Whoopie Crush Wednesday on heavy for her.
Drummond had a song. He had a song made after Drake and Obama, man.
It's like 7 people talking at the same time.
I was like, where do I look?
It's like we're all at Applebee's right now.
You got to show that. You got to bring up the picture of Drummond and
we're in the neighborhood.
I got to bring up the picture of what?
Yeah, please bring that picture.
We're in the neighborhood. You said we're at Applebee's.
Drummond and who?
McCurdy. Jeanette McCurdy.
Drummond and McCurdy? Yeah, I got it. Andre and Jeanette.
Let's pull up that contrast for a minute here. Let's see, like, the height-wise. We got, like,
right.
7.
When they only dated for, like, 2 months, and apparently, like...
She's, like, shorter than me. I want to say she's, like, 5'2" or something.
16,
like,
gotta be.
That's wild.
All right,
made her look 3 feet.
All right, here's the best image I can find. Here we go. All right, so I'm sharing my screen right now. The size difference is jarring.
She's 5'2". She's 5'2".
The size difference is jarring. That's
and she had a piston hat on.
He's got too much swag for me.
I don't know about that. I don't know if that's his problem.
He is 6'10", and she was 5'2".
Yeah, I was
put on my glasses, man. That is Steve Bobby, man.
That's the most random.
I'm holding back from saying so much.
I'm giving him the W all
day. Good job, King.
I was like, I'm sorry. They're dating. Wait, who's he dating? What?
Oh my gosh.
So
we're not sponsored by Applebee's, by the way, but if you wanna, feel free.
Little bit of chicken fries.
But well, ladies and gentlemen, I can't think of a better way to end this show than that. I want to thank everyone so much for tuning in. Be sure to follow. First of all, want to thank Lexi, King, Deuce, Eric, Vincent, everyone for joining us this week. Thank you so much all for being here. Be sure to follow my guy Robert on Twitter at Cthulhu Pizza if you want to go trash him for his sports opinions.
Can we get a cheers real quick? Where's the
okay, yeah, absolutely. Salute, baby. Salute.
Man, those comments, I tell you what, Robert, people were quite elated when they heard what
I gotta tell you. It was absolute music to my ears hearing the Yankees suck. I was like, oh, give it to me. Inject it directly into my veins.
I think that when you saw the scoreboard too.
I love it.
Hey, we'll be all right for you.
All right,
she is ready every time.
I'm locked and loaded all the time.
I love. She got a full.
I'm just giving you game with that.
No, I like it. I like
it.
Yeah, for sure.
And also, thank you. And be sure to follow my guy Jeff Iafrady on YouTube and on Twitter as well. Jeff, thank you for being here, man. Always a pleasure. Be sure to follow my guy Kool-Aid as well on Twitter. All over. Be sure to follow Lucky. He has an Instagram as well. But also subscribe to Woodward Pistons. Follow Woodward Pistons.
Do it.
Woodward Pistons is gonna have a lot of content coming out, so you want to be sure that you're following and subscribed as well. It's going to be the main home and hub for Woodward Pistons content. And we will catch you next week. We are going to be keeping these Woodward Pistons Table Talks coming. And we want to thank y'all so much for being here. Join the conversation in the comments below. Share with your friends. Subscribe to all the channels. And just know that we're here to represent Detroit and the Pistons until the day we die, ladies and gentlemen.
Until we die.
Thank y'all for tuning in. We will catch you next time here on Woodward Pistons. If you don't follow Woodward Pistons, then I say you.